requested on my Instagram earlier, and that was a live sharpening with the Hapstone M3 here. It's a relatively new system for me. I've only done so many knives on this, less than a half dozen or so. But if you've used any sort of system in the past, this is pretty self-explanatory. Just gonna do a real quick sharpening on this Griptilian here for a co-worker of mine. I already went through the liberty of matching angles for the tanto off camera, so that way we don't have to do that. Using these Veneve OCB bonded stones, this is the 240. Probably just gonna run through like the 240, 400, and maybe the 800 on it. We'll see how long this takes just to get through the 240 and 400. Should just be a minute or two to burr up on either side. I was doing these little lives on Instagram for a while, but I figured I'd throw one on YouTube and see how it did. The neat thing with the Hapstone is that you can actually pull that knife right off like that. It's just held in place by magnets, and it just pops back down. Still got a little bit of work to do to raise a burr on both sides here. And this is a tanto, so it's going to take a little bit of extra work to make sure all of the grind lines are even and make a nice point at the edge of that tanto. Doing a little illustration with the Hapstone M3 here. I know I haven't really talked about it a whole lot on the channel before, but this is a relatively new sharpening system for me. Just kind of gives me some options. I can use some different stones like these Veneve OCBs. These OCBs cut pretty damn quick. This particular griptilian is in M4, so a little bit tougher to sharpen than your average griptilian, but not too bad. That's actually a combo edge too, which makes that section that I have to sharpen pretty small. Almost all the way burred up. Just needs a little bit of work back at the very heel. These stones cut pretty quick. Edgewood didn't have a whole lot of damage to begin with. It was just basically completely flat. Like, it was very, very dull. I find the hardest part about sharpening these tantos like this is getting that transition line nice and clean. Welcome, guys. Just doing a little bit of sharpening here at the Hapstone M3. Any questions, comments? Go ahead and throw them in the chat. All right, pretty happy with the burr I got formed all the way up and down the side there. Gonna be hard to tell because of the light, but you can see there, pretty coarse finish off that 240, but nice even bevels on both sides. Transition looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I'll go ahead and jump to the 400, which is really like truly 600 grit. Just a little bit of water with these stones is all you need. Just splash and go. Don't need to soak them at all. A little bit of water. Kind of rub it onto the surface and good to go. Been a pretty big fan of this system so far. It seems like it does a pretty darn good job. Easy to use. If you've used any other sharpening system before, Lansky, KME, Wicked Edge, doesn't matter. It's pretty much the same basis. Especially, it's very, very similar to KME and Lansky. Scratch pattern's a little bit more refined off this 400. For sure. Looks a little bit cleaner. I think the 240 is pretty coarse. Burrs flipping around nice and easy. Benchmade's M4 is pretty solid stuff, which makes it pretty pleasant to sharpen, honestly. Just noticed on this one side that there was a little bit more work I had to do out towards the tip. Hi, Ethan. It was good, buddy. How about you? Kind of hoping you'd join in because this was, I know you had a question on this a long time ago, but sharpening a tanto tonight. Yeah, you can kind of, it's easy to get those confused. There's two different types of belts. There's one for the standard one and there's one for the Ken Onion. The standard ones will still work with the Ken Onion, but the Ken Onion ones come in more grits. All right, I'm happy with the way that scratch pattern looks. And the burr's flipping pretty nice and easy, so we're going to go ahead and jump to the 800. I just kind of give my stones a quick wipe down before I put them back, so you don't get any stuff that's going to dry to them or anything like that. Oh, yeah, I don't think that's going to work then. I'm not sure the blade attachment belts will work. Did you buy them online or did you buy them in store? Adding a sharpening choil is easy enough. Then it makes your job a heck of a lot easier down the road. Not sure how well it's going to show up on camera, but shine's coming up a little bit on it after that 800. 800 is really like 1200 from like your standard electroplated stones like DMT. This Hapstone's kind of neat. It's got magnets in the table, so it just sucks that knife right down for you, so you don't have to hold it in place like the Edge Pro. Although I do think the new Edge Pro stuff has come with magnets too. See how much steel this stone's taken off. That's the bad thing about these stones is they load up kind of quick since they cut so fast. Especially the finer stones tend to load up very, very quick. But on this M4, that burr is so tiny. Even after moving or staying on that one side for as long as I did. So I'm actually going to stop here at this 800 grit for him because I know what kind of edge he uses. I'm going to focus a little bit on this transition here real fast. Just make sure that burr gets flipped here at the transition. You got to get right up on it, but not roll over it. It's the tough part. From what I've heard about Spy 27, it's pretty good stuff. I'm supposed to have a loaner coming in Spy 27 to give it a shot. Pretty interested to try that stuff. It's one steel that I'd like to get my hands on. A lot of people seem to be finding that it's like hitting a sweet spot right between S30V and S35. Alright, I definitely like how that transition looks a little bit better now. So we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more water to this stone, and then we'll start some deburring. Haven't even tried it yet. Everybody seems to like it so far. You gotta try it, man. Man, this bird's so small already. It just heat treat their M4 really, really well. A little more deburring, and we should be ready to rock, ready to hit the strops. Yeah, if you start to deburr after that first stone, it makes your work down the road a little bit easier. I normally don't worry about deburring until the very end. I don't know, it just seems to be what always worked for me, but everyone kind of has their own techniques. If you find that works best for you, rock with that. The hardest part, man, is getting that burr right at the transition, right there where the grind jumps. You gotta be so careful. You gotta be so careful to run right up to it, but not let that stone roll over top of it. All in all, I really do like this system, though. I don't use it for testing because I think the wicked edge is a little bit quicker, and I just like the way that it's very repeatable very easily. But the Hapstone is nice to have other options for more stones because basically any Edge Pro stone will fit in that. Get you some CBN, Ethan. That green strop will work all right, but if you really want to get some good performance out of your knives, a CBN or diamond spray or emulsion will work best on your strops. Talked about that a little bit in the last video I made. Almost deburred perfectly here. We'll move on to a couple strops. Probably just 4 and 1 micron. Call it good. Go real light here in a couple strokes. What's going on, Tim? Been a hot minute since I did one of these YouTube lives. I've been doing them on Instagram lately. Figured I'd toss one up here on YouTube and see how it did. Go ahead and test the edge here and see how it does. I mean, honestly, I'd be pretty happy with that right off the stones. Feels pretty good, but a strop will refine that a little bit. Let's see here. Nah, man, you gotta sharpen your knives all the way down to the point where they're a nub. Although I've never, never gotten to that point. Four and 1 micron. 4 micron is going to be about 4,000 grit. 1 micron sitting at about 16,000. I do notice a difference in edge refinement jumping from 4 to the 1. And where you really notice a difference is the polish that it brings up. No, it's not a wicked edge, Rodney. Someone asked if I could show the Hapstone M3. It's been one that I've been kind of using. I don't use it for tests, but I use it like off camera on a lot of my other knives, like the Rex 121 Sasquatch here. I've been using the Hapstone on. It's been a mixture of freehand and the Hapstone. You'll like that 4 micron though. You will like that 4 micron. It's going to deburr a little bit quicker. The 4 compounds I use are 16, 4, 1.1. 16 is great for deburring or just bringing an edge back. So let me show you guys one of the cool features of the Hapstone here. I know the KME has it too, but this is the way the Hapstone works. So what we've got is the strops are going to be, grab my 4 micron strop here. The strops are different thickness than the stones, obviously, so your angle is going to be different. So what we have to do is we have to use this compensator, this little piece down here. So you don't touch this at all. This is where you adjust your angle up and down. So you don't touch that at all. You move the compensator up, put your stone inside it here, and just make it tight. So that stone basically fits in there tight like that. Pull that out. So this is where your new angle is. It's being set by the compensator. So we don't need that stone anymore. So now we take the strop and set it in there as well. And now we drop your angle on top of that. That's the correct angle for your strop. So not a whole lot of thinking. You don't have to get the angle cube out. You don't have to measure anything. Just like the KME. So not a whole lot changed from there. I mean, it's not an original idea or anything, but it is nice to have. I think these jaws accept up to an 8-inch stone, I thought, because these are 6s. Maybe not. Maybe it's 6. Oh, Edge Pro has that too? I didn't know that. So Edge still has a decent amount of bite left. And it's hard with the light that I use, but you can kind of see he's got a little bit of polish going on. It's reflective, but obviously not a nice mirror polish. And it's not going to be. That's not what I'm going for. And these 100% Veneve diamond concentration stones don't polish up the greatest. Like, it'll give you a good polish, but it's not a true mirror. Veneve sells 2 different concentrations. They've got a 100%, they've got 25%. The 25% is really good for mirror polish. The 100% is better for cutting. So they cut way quicker, which is why I went with them. My Mini Presidio is sitting at 20 right now. I'd like to thin it out, but I've just kind of been sharpening at the stock angle. Actually got it sitting right here. It needs to be sharpened. Thing's toast. Yeah, mine's sitting at 20. I don't like to let my bevels get like ridiculously big, but I mean that's still a pretty decently small size at 20. I think I could drop this to like 18 or 17 and be fine. This 4 micron is actually bringing up a lot of shine in this M4. I mean, M4 polishes up pretty nice anyhow, but this is bringing up a lot. If you like it at 23 and you like the edge holding that you're getting out of 23, I'd say just leave it there. I mean, it's not a big deal to change it. But I like to try and thin things out to anywhere from 15 to like 17, 18. 20 is all right, but I talked about it in a couple videos ago about maximizing performance, and the lower angle you go to a certain point, you're going to gain more performance out of it. It's going to cut for longer. You're going to go longer between sharpenings. Good thing with strops on these tantos is that you don't got to pay attention to that transition quite as much. See, I care. It depends. They can get big, but they just can't get ridiculously big. Because sometimes it looks ridiculous. Like, that's why I had my mini Adamas thinned out, because I was afraid if I dropped it, that was sitting at 25 degrees per side, and the bevel was already kind of big. So I was afraid that if I dropped it anymore, that bevel was going to be stupid huge. You see the polish is coming up on that pretty well. Like I said, not what I'm going for, but it does look nice. Go ahead and jump to the 1, and that'll be it. Dang it. Can't figure out where my 1's at. There it is. I got like a little cardboard box over here with cutouts in it for everything, but none of them are labeled. They're just labeled on the back of the strops like that. This Ken Schwartz stuff, like my 16 and 4 micron CBN are Bark River. This Ken Schwartz stuff cuts well and really brings up polish. Big fan of it. It's kind of expensive, but it does a great job. The only bad thing about doing a tanto on here is if you get on that transition line too much, it ends up scratching or cutting your strop. They're relatively cheap though, in the little 1x6 Edge Pro format. y'all have any questions on the system at all? Sharpening, steel, whatever. I know I asked on Instagram earlier what videos you guys would like to see from me here in the future. My Adamas was 27 thousandths behind the edge, I believe. No, 25 thousandths, and it was sitting at 25 degrees per side. I had Micah Sontag do my regrind. He's pretty local to me. I've known him for quite a while, but didn't realize he was local. And I just think he does really, really clean work. Turnaround time was unbelievable. Pretty sure that knife got to him on Thursday. No, I'm sorry. The knife got to him on Saturday. By the end of the day Saturday, he had the knife done for me. And then I had it back on Monday, I believe. Or Tuesday, I'm sorry. I got it back on Tuesday. He does unbelievably clean work. I don't know. I mean, Alex's camera, I feel like sometimes his internet isn't the best. So I feel like his camera cuts out because it picks audio over video, which is cool. I mean, it's great for a podcast. I wouldn't pick up the salt. Well, I guess the new salt stuff is LC200N, so I guess that wouldn't be a bad choice. I was thinking of the old H1 stuff that kind of sucked. I thought, I mean, he just disappeared for a little while. We could still hear him. We just didn't have to see him. So this is your edge finish after 1 micron strops. Go ahead and test out the sharpness a little bit. Take this tape off. I just throw this tape on here to kind of protect it from any grit residue from the stones. I mean, you can see it's pretty beat anyhow, but no reason to add any new scratches if I don't have to. It's always hard testing these tantos. Feels pretty good. I'd be happy with it. But edge came out looking nice. Transitions look pretty crisp. M4 takes a really, really nice polish. So pretty happy with that one all in all. Pretty quick sharpening here, just about 35 minutes or so. And that was me taking some extra time, obviously, answer some questions, talk to you guys. But that's pretty much going to do it for tonight, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching here on YouTube. I'll probably try and do these little sharpenings on here a little bit more often. Maybe throw some freehand stuff in there from time to time. So thanks so much for watching, and see you guys later.